The way we view ourselves and the value we assign to ourselves is different from the way that we see others. We always set ourselves to higher standards and cling to singular aspects of our life to determine how much we are worth. This mindset is impacting our lives. If you could give yourself a number from 1 to 10 based only on what you think of yourself, what would it be? Only you will ever know that number. And yet, what if I told you that there shouldn't be a number or a value to you? If you do have one very clear in your mind, just know that you cannot expect other people to see you as anything else other than that. Self-worth is not a value that should be measured numerically, and yet we as a society have made it so. It sounds awful, I know, but it's not really, because when you think about it, you are the one who determines who people see when they think about you. Now, I want to tell you about the first time I tried to define my self-worth using something I knew how to do. That night, I searched my mind for hours, looking for something that defined me, something that I could say, this is me, this is what I am worth. The specific story I'm referring to took place at the beach. I often go to the beach, but this one very characteristic visit stands out from the blur of my memories through the years. I was around 10 or 11 years old, and I was playing with my younger cousin. She was around 6. Her mother was in the room as well. I remember my cousin did a cartwheel or performed some sort of small trick she could do right there in the room. She then proceeded to look at me and tell me it was my turn to execute the same trick. I could not do this, which is what I told her. To which her mother said, well, show us something else then. Show us something that you're good at. I tried to think, and nothing came up. At least nothing I was confident enough to execute to perfection right there. Again, I told them this. Her mother looked me dead in the eye and said, well, you have to be good at something. What kind of person isn't good at anything? Don't you have any skills at all? This was a horrible feeling, and it made me try to think at what I was even good at, so I could prove to them and to myself that I was worth something. Now, we constantly cling to singular aspects in our life to determine how much we're worth, and this is a horrible situation that makes us want to run away and just not do anything at all, since we think we're no good. Now, this is weird in a way, since when I look at other people, at their skills, or one specific skill that they have that characterizes them, I don't make standards for them that they have to meet. I don't make up checklists for them to give them a grade and a value based on their performance, and yet I do for myself. When we think about expectations, we think of the expectations that others have of us and how we can change or meet them. However, I believe it is often the expectations that we have of ourselves that impact our lives the most. I want to share this with you as it is something that has been impacting my life in every aspect. It is something that has been impacting my life in every aspect, and it is really important for us to address it. Now, recently, I've been asked multiple times by multiple people what I want to do, which career I want to study, or which university I want to attend. It's a pretty common question, and eventually, you kind of make a default answer to it. However, I ask myself this question: what defines me? What am I good enough at to make a career out of it, to study it? And this is where I have found the main issue. Good enough. What is good enough? Who determines good enough? Who determines good enough for us? You have to become aware of how the expectations that you have are impacting you. It is interesting to I think that at one point in our lives, we have all belittled ourselves for failing at something we were supposed to be good at. It's interesting to look at how this perspective has been shaped as we grow older. For instance, when I was younger, I used to take ballet lessons. I absolutely loved going to ballet, having fun, feeling like I was amazing, bragging to my cousins about how good I was. I probably was not very good at all, but just knowing that no matter if I could do the spins or not, I was still the same girl who'd keep saying she was good at it, no matter what. As I grew up, so did my fear of saying I was good at something and then disappointing or not fitting someone else's standards. What I didn't see is that no one set those standards up for me. My own fear did. And I was the only one who'd stop saying she was good at something as soon as she didn't fit them, thus losing my confidence in how much I was worth. Other nights, I lay awake wondering how people couldn't see who I was, what I was worth, until I realized that before I saw it myself, I cannot expect others to see it. That before I accept myself, the world cannot fully accept me. So then, how do I accept myself? When I ask myself this question, I like to refer back to a concept that I think really sums it up: self-insightfulness. Now, the Cambridge Dictionary defines self as a set of someone's characteristics, often personality or ability, that are not physical and make a person different from others. Now, insightfulness refers to the ability of showing a clear and usually original understanding of a complicated situation or problem, but clearly don't quote me on those. Now, I want to tell you the definition that I've put together from these. Self-insightfulness is the ability that we have to show a clear understanding of the complexities of the characteristics that make us who we are, noting that it is different from self-awareness, as we don't only have knowledge of who we are, but we go beyond that into understanding what makes us who we are as people. Now, when I ask myself, who am I? What defines me? I think of university careers and I think of the paths that I could take. So I think, what am I good enough at to make a career out of it, to study it? There is where I have found the main issue. What is good enough? Who determines good enough? And what makes us good enough at something? Pondering over this question, I have personally found that it doesn't have to be anything. There doesn't have to be one subject, one skill, one subject, one activity where I'm the best at all the time. That isn't who I am as a person. There are several ways to establish the person that you are in your mind, including establishing the person that you want to be, what you're working towards. Having this clear in your mind will give you a clearer sense of identity and self-worth. We have to remember that people are not a product that has to be examined. We don't have to make checklists for people to give them a value and give them a grade based on what we think they're worth. People are unique and different and complex. And we tend to forget that we are nature. We are imperfect. We are not robots or AI to constantly judge ourselves based on what we think is perfect. I still don't know what I want to do with my life, but I haven't forgotten what I told you earlier, to forget about value. Value makes us think of something that we can count, something that we can measure. Again, human beings are nature. There is not something that has to measure us like we're robots or AI. Today, I want to change that question that you ask yourselves, that very infamous question that you can ponder over for hours on end. Who am I? I don't like this question. It makes me feel like I'm being evaluated on everything I've succeeded at or failed at in my whole life. Then I've changed this question to, who do I want to be, and how am I going to get there? I want to be an amazing volleyball player. Okay, how am I going to do it? I want to study whichever career. Okay, how am I going to prepare for it? Not, am I good enough, or will I be, or I better not say anything, because what if I disappoint? But instead, I know who I want to be, and I know what I like. Therefore, I know who I am. Thank you.